Hey guys, welcome back to Mi's Workshop. So today I'm going to take you guys kind of behind the scenes into a space that I've really never taken YouTube whatsoever. That is going to be my tool trailer. I love my tool trailer. I spent a lot of time in Arkansas before we made this move, setting this up, getting it organized, and making it peak functionality. So let's go in and take a look real quick. So I've had this trailer for going on 4 years. It might actually be 4 years like right now because I'm pretty sure I set it up around Christmas time the year that I got it. So I think that's right. Anyways, I've had it for a while. And the reason I'm deciding to do this now actually kind of goes back to a previous video that I shot in the fall. I would show you my tool trailer right now, but it is a freaking mess in there. So maybe in the future we'll do like a tool trailer tour or something. I don't know about that. We'll see. I'm not making any promises on that. But if I ever do a tour, it's going to have to get cleaned up for sure. Now you might be looking behind me thinking that's not much of a mess, but I promise this is not where it started. Now before I show you how bad it really had gotten, I wanted to say if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to do a walkthrough tour just kind of talking about the different tools that I have, some tips on how you can affordably get tools, and then just show some of the ways that I've stored and keep this stuff secure, especially while it's in transit. before we go through the walkthrough tour, I'm going to go ahead and open the back door to the trailer because it'll let in a lot more natural light, which will make it easier to see. So I've got this back door. I don't use it a whole lot unless I'm going to be in and out with a lot of stuff. So I kind of use the end of the trailer for some like bigger storage. But it is also good to open that up because it lets a lot of the heat that builds up in there out. So let's go in and go through a quick tour. All right, I could probably talk for 2 hours about this stuff, so I'm just going to try and hit the important stuff. Yeah, I've got all my nail guns up here at the front. They're just on regular hooks. One thing that I did add in for a transit security is a bungee cord with eyelets on either side. And essentially what that does is just you run the bungee cord, it locks the nail guns down from being able to bounce around and bounce out of the hooks that's holding them. I've got my miter saw up front. I've got my table saw, and to secure these, I've got some eyelets run into a stud on the trailer, and then I've got a ratchet strap that actually is cut to the right size, so I don't have a bunch of excess strap hanging down, and then that secures them in place so that way they don't move around. I've got them secured now just because when I'm getting in and out of the trailer, it can bounce them around a lot. So I've got all my air hoses and extension cords up here at the front. I've got them set up on this carabiner like clip system. I buy these at Home Depot. They're like $2 a piece, but they're really easy to open and close. They're good for keeping things like hoses and cords kind of grouped together. Plus they can hold the weight because this stuff can get kind of heavy. Kind of moving down the line, I've got my tool belt shelf, and the reason I call it my tool belt shelf is because if you were going to come through and set up your tool belt, you would go through and grab a bunch of this stuff. This is all the stuff you're going to need for almost every project. It's got box knife, torpedo level, pencils and Sharpies, a carpenter square, and tape measures. And then I've got some other small stuff like, you know, got our music box, got to have music. Unless you're actively shooting a video and you don't want to lose your monetization, then you don't have music. But other than that, I always have music going. Long tape measures, that's a 200 foot and a 300 foot. And then we've got, you know, our chalk lines, chalk, and then we've got oil and pneumatic oil for your nail guns. Moving down the line gets into the more interesting stuff. So I've got all my DeWalt batteries set up here. They're all kind of categorized as different ohms, which has to do with how long they're going to last and run. You might be thinking, oh, that's a ton of batteries. I'll explain why I have so many batteries at the end. But these holders for the batteries, I actually got off of Amazon. They're made specifically for DeWalt batteries. I will put a link for them in the description. But I mean, obviously it makes it very easy to store your batteries. And then I set up this charging system. It just runs down to a surge protector that's down here below this shelf. So when I come back in from a job, you know, I've got this battery, it's been used. I stick it on the charger. You know, it runs until it's done charging. When it's done, it goes back in the spot that it was in. One thing that this does provide is that at a quick glance, I can see if I've got any batteries missing. You know, there's times I can say, okay, I've got 3 batteries not here. What that tells me is that they're on tools or sitting around somewhere. So stuff for me generally doesn't get left outside because I'm always taking an account for what I have. Same thing goes for all the actual tools that I have. So this is kind of the same thing. I've got holders. They're just the reverse of the batteries. So they've got the shape of the battery up here. I also got these from a 3D printer company on Amazon. Turned out really good. They stand up to heat, which is really nice. And I've just got these kind of like loosely organized into same type of tool, you know, variety of different tools. And just like the batteries, one thing that this does is it allows me to see, okay, I've got, you know, which spot's missing, what tool goes there. Now I know that that tool is not where it's supposed to be. So one thing I had to figure out for transit purposes when it comes to the drills and the handheld stuff, I had to find a way to keep them from sliding off of their holders whenever they're bouncing around on the road. And so what I came up with was these long bolts. So I run this all thread through these holes, and then I secure them on each side with either a nut or a wing nut. So the wing nut goes on this side. All right, lock that down, and that keeps the drills and stuff from being able to fall out of their holders, and I've got one for each row. And then moving down to the end of this side, I've just got all the other different battery operated DeWalt tools that I use. This next part is probably one of my favorite things about the tool trailer is these Milwaukee pack out toolbox systems. I really enjoy everything that this system has produced. every item. There's even items that they've come out with since I built this tool trailer that I don't have, that I've considered remodeling the side with the batteries and the tools on to be able to utilize them. They have a huge variety of different sizes and options to meet all different kinds of needs. You know, I've got basically all of our fasteners, bolts, anchors, screws, I mean, everything that's a fastener of any kind is in one of these Milwaukee pack out boxes. It makes it easy to find. It makes it easy to take out to the job. You just find the one you need, take it out, put it back when you're done. Another thing that I really like is these drawer systems. I've got 2 of them right now. Let me flip the camera around again. So it makes it really easy when I'm going to get bits. So I've got all my bits organized here. All right, those are drill bits. And then you got all your paddle bits and other specialty bits at the top. On the one on the right is all my blades. So sawzall blades, metal, wood, jigsaw blades. These are replacement skill saw blades. Got a couple different sizes for different saws. And then these are the oscillating tool blades. And I believe that's what that is too. Oh, more jigsaw blades. All right. Makes it super easy to access. And for traveling purposes, they have this bar that unlocks. Hold on, if I can get it. Okay, this bar unlocks. Folds up to the top. Locks in. Now the drawers are locked in. One thing I do love about all the pack out stuff is that they all lock to each other. So like this one unlocks. And I can move it over to this side, fit it in place, slide it in. Now it's not going anywhere. The boxes themselves are secured to these pack out bases. The bases are secured to the shelves. Then I was able to build out on top of each base, you know, a different variety of boxes based off of what I was keeping inside each tote. So I really love the pack out system. They are expensive, but I will say this, honestly, tools are just expensive. Nice tools are even more expensive, and there's just no really way around that, but you can manipulate the system, and we're almost to that part. But as far as the pack out stuff, yes, it's expensive, but I've actually had 2 other brands of toolboxes. I've had Rigid and I've had DeWalt, and they've all broken. Wheels have broken, handles have broken, latches have broken. Honestly, on some of those other ones, the actual sides of the box crumbled and broke from just getting bumped by another tool or just being set down too heavy. Like, I have yet to replace a single toolbox of the Milwaukee pack out system yet. I've not had one break. I've not had a latch break. I've not had a locking system break. And so that to me far outweighs whatever it costs. Just buy it as you can, because they are going to last. Like, honestly, I think I'll be using this pack out system from now until I no longer can hold tools in my hand. I mean, I honestly think that it's that high a quality, and I've put it to the test. I've had these in the back of the side-by-side, just, you know, driving down the road, going out and doing jobs out in the middle of the farm, bring it back. I can hose it off because it's watertight, put it back in the tool trailer, and like I said, it's just a very high-quality toolbox, very well designed, very well executed, tons of flexibility and variety and modulation. So this is my favorite thing as far as the organization part of the tool trailer itself. Last thing I wanted to show you guys is I've got my levels up here. So this is 2 tubes of 3-inch PVC and a tube of 4-inch PVC, and I just put caps on the end. All right, let's talk about tools. I realize I have a lot of tools, and there is a reason behind that. Number one is that I buy quality tools that last, so I don't end up having to replace a bunch of stuff, and that can actually eat into your overall tool budget over time, because if you're having to replace the tools you already bought, then you're not buying new tools to fill out your tool kit. This has taken almost 10 years to put together everything that's in this trailer, so it's not like it happened overnight. And number two, I've always been extremely diligent to shop the Black Friday sales at Home Depot and Lowe's, because not every year, but most years they have an amazing amount of different kits and stuff that you get freebies on. So like, let's say that's kind of why I have so many different batteries and stuff, is because you would be able to buy a kit and you would get an extra battery for free, or you'd be able to pick out an extra tool for free. And not only is the kit discounted, but then it's also you're getting free stuff on top of it. And that's why I have so many of the items that I do. And then also, you know, having extra batteries and stuff, like when the hurricane hit and we were using some of these batteries to power stuff, it was nice having the extra batteries. You know, sometimes when I've got a big job, either I'm helping someone or if I'm doing something out here and I've got multiple people coming to help. So having enough drills and batteries that everyone can have their own set. Like for example, when I was building the greenhouse for Jessica recently, I actually had 2 impacts. I had a battery on each of them, and then I also had the different bits I was going to need in each drill. That way I wasn't having to stop as much and change bits out. I had the star bit and the square-headed bit that I needed, and I would just pick up the drill corresponding to whatever screw I was using, which actually can save you a lot of time. It also saves you from losing bits. I can't tell you how many times that I've taken a bit out to put the other one that I needed in and then couldn't find where I'd set the first one. It gets lost, have to pull another one out of my kit. So to me, it was more efficient to have multiple drills, and since I already had them, I just utilized them that way. So shop sales, buy higher quality, save up and buy something that's going to last. You know, some of these impacts and drills that I've had, I mean, they're going on 6-7 years. You know, probably about 2 years ago, I had to replace a couple of handheld tools that had just been worn out, which that doesn't happen often. So buy higher quality is my recommendation. Just buy it when it's on sale and utilize your freebies to get different tools or extra batteries whenever they're having those sales. They do them around 4th of July, Father's Day, and the best one is definitely around Black Friday. So if there's something in here that you guys saw that you would like to ask a question about, you know, hey, what kind of tool is that? Or hey, how did you, you know, how are you storing that? How are you keeping it in place? I don't know. I think there's probably stuff that I'm missing because honestly, some of these solutions to me are just kind of obvious. Like, I don't think that other people would find them interesting, and so I might just be overlooking it. If there is something like that, leave a comment below and let me know, hey, what your question is, and I'll do my best to answer it. Also, if there's a lot of questions, I might do a follow-up video, kind of just going through and answering all the questions and showing all the stuff that I kind of missed. Now that I got the tool trailer organized and ready to access whatever I need, I'm feeling a lot better about jumping into all the other building projects that I've got. Having to do different projects whenever you can't get to the tools and the fasteners and stuff that you need, and stuff's kind of everywhere, it can be very discouraging. I've honestly put projects off because my tool trailer or my tool space was in such disarray because I just didn't want to have to deal with the chaos of it. So I love having clean, functional spaces, and I'm going to do my very best to keep it this way from now on. We'll see how that goes. Check back in 6 months to a year. We'll see where we're at. So anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out with me, and I will catch you guys on the next one. I'm excited about all the stuff that we're about to get into for Jessica's garden projects, so thank you guys.